What's up? I'd like to introduce an old friend of mine. It is the iPhone. What are you? X? Yeah, iPhone X. Because my other iPhone, I keep all my iPhones. Well, let's see if we could tell the difference. Dismiss that. Let's see if we can tell the difference. But yeah, anyway, good morning. This video is, so the video that's going to go up before this, I made it like 3 days ago, but I didn't post it yet. I think it was what was it? It was a Friday night video. Yeah, so Friday. So I was just talking about the Boyz II Men concert. I'll save that for that video. And talking about my amazing preparation I always do before my gigs. Because I had a photo shoot yesterday. So I guess I'll talk about the photo shoot and you guys just hear all the prep I was doing for the photo shoot. But yeah, yesterday I had a photo shoot down in Philadelphia, and it was cool. Driving is still a little makes me nervous, but I got my navigation on. I have no music playing. I'm just like very focused on getting to my destination. My leg be cramping up. It was weird, but one of the biggest things was that the last time I went down to Philly, I'm driving, I see the toll booth. Now back in the day, there was like cars and people, but as I'm driving, I don't see any cars. So I'm thinking maybe it's closed, because that's a logical thing to make. And I'm speeding down there. I see everyone going this lane, so I follow the cars, and then a couple months later, my brother, because the car is under he was taking care of my mom's car thing, and now I'm driving my mom's car, so it's under his name. So he sends us a picture of, it says that I ran the toll booth or something. It came like a $41 or some shit. Now he didn't say pay it, that he paid it. He just sent the picture of it. So I don't know what the hell that means. So this time I was making sure that so yeah, I didn't have that issue. I got there an hour early, right? So I got all my photography gear in the suitcase in the back seat. It is hot as hell. I'm in the sun. I'm blasting the AC, and it's, good morning. I'm blasting the AC, trying to keep me warm, keep my gear stuff. I get out, I walk around the hood. It was hood-like. And on the news, people be getting stabbed and shit. Heard the ambulance going on. So I'm just like, whatever. So I go back in the car, blasting the AC. So then I text, okay, I'm arrived. She's like, we already inside. Like, shit. I could have been setting up. For a second, I was like, oh, maybe I'm on the wrong side. Maybe I put the wrong navigation address in. Heart's all pounding. But she's like, we're outside, and I go in, and they must have been there for like a good 30 minutes. So I could have. So she had a little buddy, a little assistant, which is always cool. Well, not always. Sometimes assistants be mean mugging me. Good morning. They be mean mugging me. Like one time I did a mermaid shoot, and it was her and her husband's friend and their wife, not her husband. So they're sitting there the whole time. They're just like she's in this big swimming pool. Like, come on now. But yeah. So the shoot, she was turning 27. She wanted to celebrate, and it was cool. Shoot ended, and she's like, "Hey, can you send me a picture? Just one, because my birthday's today. I should send her a happy birthday." I'm like, sure. I had one where at the end in Japan, she's like, after the shoot, she'd be like, can I pick the picture for you to send me? And I'm like, okay. She just one. And she's scrolling like, okay, I like that one. And I edit it and send it. So she just said, send her one. So I sent her 3. And then she's like, you don't have any with me smiling? Like you didn't ask for me to send a picture. So I ended up sending 6 pictures, whatever. And then I go back home. It's getting a little better. I still don't like driving. Because as I was saying in the last video, I don't know about driving stuff. Like, if the cops pulled me over, I'd be so nervous because I have never been pulled over. I don't know what to say. Maybe my nervousness would get me shot. This guy's really nervous. I think he got something in there. And that's the end of rhyming. I don't know, license, registration. But so I worry about that. Or I think about, like, when I'm flying, when I was coming back from Japan or whatever, I'll be like, what if? And I start thinking about all the movies I saw where the planes crashed. Now that I'm driving, like, what if my tire popped? What do I do? What if the guy in front of me with all the bikes attached that falls? Do I just, like, I'd be having those thoughts. It's not healthy, but I'd be thinking about those things. Nervous, man. But yeah, so I came home. Actually, I imported all this stuff into my iPad because we could do that. I came home and so here's the thing. I used to delete all the bad pictures or the non-pictures because you do test shots. But it's better to pick the good pictures. I had about 500 pictures. So it's better to pick the ones you like, blah, blah. So I did that and I started cropping. She sat in front of this wood wall and it had an air conditioner and it had this white table. Now, I don't know why I didn't unplug the air conditioner. I was like, I'll just Photoshop that later. Photoshop that later means like a good 15 minutes trying to draw that shit out. So I was just doing stuff like that. But yeah, all in all, I think it was a great shot. There's always photos that I'm thinking, shit, man, I should have. I'm on manual, but I forget to, like, play around with the settings. I just start snapping. Back in the day, I used to, for whatever reason, I go down to maybe 30 shutter speed to get more light, to get the shot I'm after. But that means you get a whole lot of blurry shots because, you're moving. I'm not on a tripod. Or maybe I was on the tripod, I took it off, and now I'm getting all these blurry shots and like, fuck! In Japan, I used to switch my lens. I don't think I was putting the lens cap on, or it's dusty. So then the shots would have like dirt in the shot. And I'm sitting there, I didn't even notice when I first started. And a friend of mine's like, yo, man, you gotta clean your lens. I'm like, what you talking about? And he went in there and he circled all the things. I'm like, I thought that was on the screen. But yeah, that was yesterday, whatever. But today, this morning, like 10 minutes ago, I said hello to my dad. I said, hey, Dad, good morning. He said, hey, Matthew. I said, how'd you sleep? He said, I slept okay. And then he said, I don't know why he said it, but he said, why don't you da-da-da-da-da? That's like, I don't know if it's kryptonite. It's fighting words. Why don't I? So I thought about it. Usually at this point, I just turn around and go for my walk. Because I can't say I don't know. I know why. I know what I have reasons for why. He said, why are you always walking on this trail? Because it's a quiet trail. I'm probably the loudest thing on it. I'm not disturbing anybody. There's a reason, right? It's close. I'm not going to hop in the car and go way down the street to go hop out. So anyway, he asked me and I'm just like, but for whatever, this day I said, okay. Pause. Silence. And I said, well, I was going to set up a kind of a logical waterfall approach. Well, you see, da-da-da-da, ergo, da-da-da-da. But I was like, this is my dad. That's not really going to work for him. So I stopped there and I think about it. Good morning. I think about it. And I just jump in. Eat the frog is what they say. I say, well, I was going to do, well, you don't do it, so why you expect me to do it? But again, that's not going to work with my dad. So I just jump in. I say, the reason that I don't do it is because this. and that and this. I just started listing a whole bunch of shit. And then he interjects because he wasn't like, but maybe it's the face, maybe it's the way I am, but people be like thinking I'm an idiot. And what do I do that is idiotic? Like the person who's like drinking and shit face, they could still be a genius because, you know, everyone drinks. But the person who's like sitting there in silence, contemplating on some like Doctor Who. No, is it Doctor Who? It ain't Doctor Who. It's Doctor Strange. So many doctors. Sitting there like Doctor Strange and contemplating all the different paths I could take. And they don't get that. Like that man out there having a seizure. Can we say seizure? I was going to say another word, but I know that word is, you can't say that anymore. Can we say seizure? Look at these lantern bugs. I finally found the name of this bug that we're supposed to kill on sight. That's what it says on sight. If you see this bug, kill it. I can't kill it. I'm pretty sure that was like the sign back in the day for slaves. It'd be like, if you see a slave, kill it. I couldn't kill a slave. Like, come on, man. You know you shouldn't be out here, but here's what happened. At least I hope that is who I would have been. There was reward for slaves, and I might have been like financially in need of money. But anyway, back to my story. So I'm saying all this to my dad, just listening. Listen, because we don't talk. I don't really make it a thing to be telling. I mean, I tell y'all because y'all don't know me, but I don't be telling people I know. Is this police people? It seems like it is, but I don't be making a thing. Good morning. I don't be making it a thing to tell people stuff. Like, I'm not gonna pop up at your house and be like, man, let me tell you about how shitty my life is. I'd rather not be in that position or just whatever. But so I'm just telling him. So then my dad, like, you know, I got it bad. You know, he posed it. You know who has it bad? Who has it the worst? Who has it the worst? And then I cut back in. Man, everybody got it the worst. We all are feeling the death of mama. You got it bad. I got it bad. Usher got it bad. We all got it bad. So don't even come with that. And, you know. And then I go back into listening. Because he asked. I wouldn't just bring it up, but he asked. I even started, you know why I had to ask you for $200? Because, it's like, well, I didn't know that. Well, yeah, you didn't know that. Because, whatever. I mean, I'm leaving out a bunch of parts of this because it ain't none of your business, but you could surmise by the videos I posted before. Or maybe you can't. Maybe you're going to be some new guy who's just like, but, so then after that, he's always watching the Bible Network. The Bible Network's on, and I think he says something about the Bible. He always pulls that in the Bible. And I said, listen, man. So I bring up this one. You know how you hate Trump and you want him to get arrested, go to jail, you want him to be punished? I said, man, that don't matter, because in the end, he has to answer to God. He has to stand. That's what's in the Bible. And my dad believes that. So then I kind of circle back. So what's the point of watching all those political shows that you watch? You know? They cannot judge a man, for they are only human. Now, I ain't trying to be like an asshole. I reserve that for other assholes. But, you know, I'm just saying. So there's really no need to watch political TV shows and get frustrated. Because watching about Trump, how he's just eluding everything, is frustrating. You want him to be punished, and he's just all like, ha ha, can't catch me. So don't watch it. Because if you believe in the Bible, and it says in the end he will be judged, finished. You know, one day he's going to be up there talking to the big man, and the big man's going to say, man, I don't even know why you're here. Push the button, and he drops down. If that's how my father envisioned it. I mean, there could be a weird twist, like when he was 7 years old, he got saved, and then he became whatever, because I believe that once you're saved, you can't be unsaved. So he might be get a good talking to, and they're like, well, come on in, child of mine. Don't know. I didn't say that to my dad, because that would just, that would be a mind fart. Like, oh man, didn't think of that one. Anyway, bugs in my head. So then the preacher man on the TV says something about drinking alcohol. Now we're talking, and I don't think anyone is capable of talking and listening to the TV. Now I was facing the TV, my dad's facing me, and I'm hearing, and he's like, alcohol. And I'm like, yeah, alcohol. You know why I don't drink alcohol? Because when I was 7 and I used to go to church, I named the pastor, Pastor Joe. Pastor Joe said we shouldn't drink. So 7 years old me, like, drinking is bad. 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. My friends start drinking, and I'm like, that's bad, because the Bible says so. 16, that's bad. And then, it became a thing. Everyone's drinking, and I just kind of removed myself from the drinking. And, yeah. So then my dad says, didn't Jesus turn water into wine? But I was just not having it this morning. I said, okay, yeah, he did. But Pastor Joe, or pastor before, he said we shouldn't drink. And then he goes back into it. He said, but didn't Jesus turn water into wine? So you're going to stick to that point? Fine. So then I'm like, on one of these Bible Network channels, there is a female preacher who has a girlfriend. He said, that is wrong. That is wrong. Okay. Because what I wanted to explain is, it's really opened up to, I go back further. I'm like, back in the day, the slave owners who were preachers or had slaves would say that the Bible says that we should be slaves, people of color, because the Bible says so. So, this book has been interpreted many ways. Who's to say what is right and what is wrong? But it's not my aim to, I don't wake up trying to argue with people. Like, I wake up with a whole bunch of thoughts in my head. Like, if I had a conversation with you last night, when I wake up, like, what you said that make no damn sense. And I'm ready to send you all the pieces to make you, what's the point? You believe what you believe, and as you know, you can't change people's opinions because, now, me, if you were going to change my opinion, you would have to, like for example, someone wrote, random person, they said, you should shave, right? Now, what they would have to do, they would have to, A, send the money to me to shave, right? So here's $30, go shave. And I would. I mean, it costs more than $30, but I would. But then maybe I'll be like, fuck that. I don't tell them what to do. But I would. But what they would have to prove is my life better? Like, am I losing opportunities? Like, let's put this, let's say, they said if you shave, your viewership on YouTube will go up 137%. You will make about 40 cents per minute. Like, they got it all figured out mathematically. If you don't shave, your viewership will go down by a percentage of 0.776, and you will lose $100. Now, with that kind of information, and it's verified, now it's on me. Do I do it? Do I not do it? But it's on me. But someone who's feeling, I just feel this way because I feel that way, you know what I'm saying? You're entitled to feel what you feel. So then my dad, he usually goes into, well, back in my day, and I said, I just wasn't having it this morning. I'm like, well, because I'm 41, so now I technically have a back in my day. And I said, now, again, it doesn't matter, but I just want to just kind of make the point. I can't tell my nephew, back in my day, we didn't have internet. We didn't. The first time the internet came into my house, I had to buy it, which I did. And when I bought it, my dad was upset. He said, why are you buying another phone? Like, because I need some internet, man. I need to get on AOL. I got to get on there. I got to be online with America. So I bought it. And he wouldn't allow me to run the ride, so I had to, like, run it all the way up to the attic. you know, Matthew's gonna do what Matthew's gonna do. But yeah, so I had to put the internet in. I had to pay for it, I had to get it installed. My nephews, they opened their eyes and internet was there with a phone. Like, now why would I resent, why? Like, it blows my mind that if I was talking to any person younger than me and they're just like, man, my high-speed internet is so slow. How come we can't get the higher speed internet? I would chuckle to myself. Ironic. But like, my dad once, like, me walking. He said, why would you walk? When I was growing up, I walked 15 miles with no socks. Maybe you did. Okay. I walk because it's good for you. I have no need to walk with no socks. I tried back in the day. Feet be all hot and shit. But it's just like, you know. So, and then I guess another thing that my dad brought is like, you know, I don't want to go to the nursing home. I don't want to. And it's like, seriously? You think I'm here, sitting here, having this conversation with you because I want you to go to the nursing home? I didn't say all that. But just we, my brother, my sister, and me, to the best of our abilities, are not going to let that happen to you. Leo may pay, my brother Leo, he'll pay for all the expenses. Good morning. My sisters will help out with any of the final expenses. And I will physically be here to make sure that when you have a fall or slip, or if you have a need or desire or want, or if you just got to yell at the closest person next to you, I will be here. All you have to do is enjoy the, well, but I mean, as I said, you know, he's watching political TV shows most of the time, being upset about Trump. Forget about Trump. Trump's going to do Trump, and that's that. Enjoy this. So I get annoyed sometimes because we, you know, as, you know, it is what it is. But the main thing, so anyone, but I was thinking about this, like a little segue, right? There's always someone, good morning. There's always someone who's like, so where are you going back to Japan? Do you want to go back? And I get it. If you never watched the video, you're going to ask that question. I was thinking I could make like a recap. Like last week, Matthew left Japan because he left Japan because it was Christmas time. But just kind of make like a thing where it shows last week or last month or for the past 6 months, Matthew has been living in the States, huffing it up, doing the best he can, arguing with his family, but he tries. He doesn't know his future. Stay tuned. So then, good morning. So then, anybody watching, they'd be like, okay, that's what happened. But, you know, everyone who comes in, they're just like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? But I don't really want to feel like doing all that shit. Because then I have to put a little intro in front of these long-ass videos. Take forever. Good morning. So, but yeah. So, you know, my dad's worried about this impending, he's going to be stuck in a nursing home. And that's not going to happen. Shit, if it's just my dad and me, I'd work at McDonald's and Walmart, do 15 jobs. It ain't gonna happen. At that point, that's when I would start like pushing all types of, like, not gonna happen. Good morning. But it's annoying because that's in the back of his mind, which, and I get it. There's people who will drop their parents off at, and that's why this thing is in my family, because my mom used to be a nurse, or not a nurse, but she used to work at a nursing home. And she used to see how people would treat their moms, their parents. And she always said, you know, do not put me in a nursing home. And my dad probably, you heard the stories. Well, I don't want to be in no damn nursing home. We heard the stories. We're not going to put them in a nursing home. But for whatever reason, he thinks that's what's going to happen. Not going to happen. That's, I think the young people say, on God. I think they say that. I don't say that. But not going to happen. Not gonna happen. But yeah, so, and then it got quiet because we both, well, I think because, you know, what people, What don't I don't, if someone is talking some racist shit, I don't have nothing to add to that. If someone's talking some illegal, yo, it's hurt these people to get money, or I have nothing to add to that. But if someone is talking on some speculative whatever, and it falls within my jurisdiction of things that I've thought about or have a thought about, I'm gonna speak about it. And usually, but yeah, get off me, bugs. I didn't buy the stuff I said I was gonna do the last video. I don't want to spray myself with shit. But so then I say, all right, well, I'm gonna go for my walk. And as I'm walking down the steps, I hear, I didn't walk when I was growing up. It's like, are you serious? Like, my dad's 89. He lived in Jamaica. He lived where there was no water, where you had to put the water on top of your head. I don't know why they put it on top of their head. Maybe I should ask one day, but it'll probably be a whole story. But I'm curious. Is carrying it better? But maybe because if it's on your head, it's centered. So right now, I'd probably go online and find out why they put the water on their head, so I wouldn't have to ask my dad. But I might ask my dad, and he might start telling me because it's centered in his own way. And it's like, you didn't know that? And like, I did know that. I was just trying to confirm what I already knew. But yeah, so it's like he lived like that. And so I mean, a part of our conversation was just time framing. Good morning. Time framing. So it's like, so the Bible channel's on, and I'm just like, yeah, people back in the day lived to be 900 years old. I said, yes, they did. If the Bible is what you believe, okay, that's what is. I also said people back in the day used to have leprosy and sit outside looking all sored up for like 100 years. And there was burning bushes and the water was splitting. Yes, it happened then, but it doesn't happen now. This is now time. And my kids, I don't have kids. My nephew, what happens for him is his time. You can't compare. Like, I think the phrase is comparing apples to oranges. But in this case, it's like comparing apples to rocks. They're just so... You can't compare them. You just can't. Because I like to stick with the slavery. If we were born as slaves, my dad was a slave, I'm a slave, we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be sitting in a house talking about me going for walks. We would be masa this and masa that. I don't know if I would have that spirit in me. Like, I'm going to run away, Dad. I don't want to be no damn. I guess I wouldn't be so articulate. You're going to run away, Pa. I don't know how they sound, but I would imagine it wouldn't sound like how I'm saying. So just time adjusted in your head how a slave would sound. I'm like, man, I'm getting the hell out of here, man. Shit. Now I'm sounding like Snoop, West Coast. But I can't stand it, man. You see my colors, Dad? It'd be a monologue. If it was a movie, it'd be like, Dad, you see my color? I ain't never gonna get off this field. I ain't gonna be in the big house. I ain't gonna get no opportunities. I'm going to New York. New York. They ain't got no motherfucking whips. That's why I'm going to New York. New York. And I could probably get on other shit. But now I'm in Anyway. And he's like, what the hell you singing? What is that? I said, that's called hip hop. Hip hop. But yeah, and it would be an argument because he might be saying it's better if you stay, even though it is what it is. At least the master feeds us. You heard about the other plantation. They just beat them. They feed them their own blood. Yeah, that's gross. It's like, I know. So you should stay here because if they catch you. You saw they did the Kunta Kinte? Like that's a myth. That never happened. So yeah, that would have been a real conversation if we were in that area. Good morning. But that's where my mind is. It's all over the place. Hard for people to... I was telling this to my therapist. Good morning. She got purple here. Yo, so in Japan, I always was thinking... Good morning. I was in Japan and I would see like these elderly women. And they would have like purple hair. And I was like... why? And they'd be like, because, you know, when older women, after their husbands die, they just want to be wild and free. So they dye their hair all types of colors. That don't make no sense. So one time I was actually teaching a woman with colored hair, and she's like, you know. She didn't answer. So finally because gray hair is hard to dye, or when you dye it, you have to it's a lot of work, but the color seems to stick longer or some shit like that. And I'd say, okay, I didn't verify it, call up the hair companies. It wasn't that important to me, but that answer works for me. But the lady back there just had purple hair. But anyway. But yeah, man, I'm sitting there talking to my therapist. I be inceptioning it, because I would tell her story. So this happened, but why that was a big thing is because 5 months earlier, that happened. And 13 years ago, that happened. And, when I was in Japan, this didn't happen. And I'm just like bouncing all around. She got her notes. I would hope on her little notepad, she's like drawing arrows to follow the story. I don't know if she is. I don't know what she's writing. Good morning. She could be writing, this boy crazy? I'm thinking of how I know he doesn't want to take no prescriptions. Fuck, I'm gonna take prescriptions. And I know that he or maybe she's doodling. I don't know. Maybe on the last day, like, what do you be writing? But she is able to follow with the story. Because I don't name names, like I try not to. Whatever. But everyone got a code name. So if I'm like, everyone got their own name. And she's like, oh, that person. I try to name like I'm writing code or something. This situation's person, and like, oh, the person did that. And like, okay, let's call him Bob. But, yeah. So I'm not sure what's going to happen when I get back to the house. For me, now my dad knows, like, another thing my dad says, he says a lot of stuff every day, all the time. But he says that no one comes to visit him in the family. He doesn't say he's lonely. That would, I'm lonely because no one comes to visit me. He just says, no one comes to visit me. I guess no one cares. As I sit, I'm sitting right next to my dad. It's a weird thing to say. I'm here. Fuck everyone else. They ain't coming, but I'm here. I'm here. Be happy with that. I ain't the best to be. Like, could you imagine if my dad played the piano and I was here? That'd be beautiful. We're just sitting around playing the piano all day. And I'm all, and he'd probably be up to like record it, and that could be a whole nother thing. But instead, watching Judge Judy and political TV shows and game shows. I ain't got time for that shit. But so he's always saying that, and I'm like, well, listen, Dad, man, since I've been here, have you seen anyone come to the house? You seen any of my relatives come here? Just me. He's like, well, you can call them up. I was like, you could call them up. I'll drive you to their houses. That's why I'm here, to make sure you don't gotta worry about those stuff. And stop. And I eat the frog. I made a choice. I'm gonna sit. Now, if someone came to my house, knock, 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 and it's like, hey, I heard you've been here, and I haven't heard you. I'm just checking in. I wouldn't turn them away. Like, come on in. There's some flies you gotta worry about, but hey, come on in. Or if someone invited me, like I told you, someone asked me if I wanted to go to the concert. I was like, yeah, but that's my situation. But so I'm like, I'm in the same boat as you, man. So we got choices, and I made my choice, and I lay in it. Make your choice. And then he jumped back to the Bible. Like, the Bible, I just let him go off on that. But the Bible ain't gonna help you here, man. But I don't know if when I come to the house, we're gonna be like best buds. He might be annoyed with the conversation. For me, at least he knows. He knows what is. Like, I brought up, yesterday I went down to Philly and I did a shoot. I made $130. I know you never made $130 in 2 hours. And I wanted him to start saying, ba-da-da-da-da. And I was like, well, but check this out. It took me an hour and a half to drive up, hour and a half to drive back. It was a 2-hour shoot. It may take me about an hour or such to edit it. So if you divide the total cost, plus I put gas in the car, $30 of gas, it's called $100. And let's say it all come up to $5. Divide that by 5. I only made $20 an hour. It's not big money. You know, a lot of work for that $20 an hour. Plus, if I was paying taxes, 10%, but it's under the table. But we didn't get there. He just... my mom understood about... And I brought that up. I said, you know, if mom was here, she would have... But, you know, no one else... But on my end, I'm whatever. I'm gonna go home, edit my video. I make some eggs and mashed potato. So when I got my wisdom teeth taken out, there was this person who said they're gonna bring me some mashed potatoes and stuff. They said, I'm gonna bring it to you. I got a package for you. I got a package. Like, yeah, I think I should get some stuff to eat. So I went to the store and I got some mashed potatoes, some mac and cheese in a box, Jello and pudding. You know, I checked online what you're supposed to eat. Soup. And then I got my wisdom teeth taken out and blah, blah, blah. That person never came with the package. Like, at no point, hey, do you want it now? Hey. And I was telling my dad about that. I said, you know, I just can't deal with people who say one thing and do the other thing. There's no, I'd rather someone say, listen, I was going to do it, but I decided not to. I'm not going to ask you why. You made a decision. I got to respect your decision. I ain't owed shit by nobody. But at least I know, you know? But to sit there and like that's, for me, that's the worst thing. The worst, like, good morning. That's the worst thing that someone can do to me is set me up. Like kind of like this one. All right. What? All right. Lean back and I'll catch you. That's how I feel people set me up. I'm thinking they're going to catch me. And I lean back and I bang my motherfucking head on the pavement. And then they come, oh, I didn't know you really were going to lean back. Lean back. Lean. Or I was really busy at that time. My bad. I'll catch you the next time. Like, I got trust. I trust myself. I know if I decide to do something, done. And I know if I decide not to do something, I will live with whatever the consequences is. You're not going to hear me, man, I wish I didn't do that. Man, that was the biggest. What's done is done. And that keeps me sane, you know? So I'm not used to, like, when people say, I'm going to do this for you, or I got you, or whatever, I just don't believe it. Which kind of makes a cycle, because they're like, good morning. You looking at me. It makes a cycle because I'm just supposed to trust every Tom, Dick, Harry, Sally, Sue, and Jane. I just can't. Because my past, and then I'm talking to the therapist, and I say, nobody ever does it. And she's like, nobody, Matthew? Nobody? Can you really say nobody? And that's one of my go-to arguments for anything. Back in high school, girls like, I love you. I love you, Matthew. I love you. I said, can you explain what love is to me? Do you even know what love is? Go ahead, explain it. If you could, I mean, this was me being a dick. But I make these arguments. So when I hit her, nobody, huh? So you have met everybody in the whole wide world? But in this case, you know, I'm just talking to a therapist lady, and these are kind of really rushed conversations. So I'm just like trying to condense things. It's like, well, Matthew, you can't say nobody. Like, I know. I'm just trying to, whatever. Now, again, as I always say, I'm not trying to argue with the therapist because I chose to be there and she is there trying to help me. That's versus, you know, someone's forcing you to do something. But a part of me is like, don't play games with me, because, and I would probably search for it, try to apply it to her situation, and I'd be like, so you never did anything illegal? I look her in the face, and now she's like, now she could be straight up OG. Yes, I've done things illegal. I try not to. Respect. But she might, nope, never done anything illegal. Okay. That's the game we playing. You never lied. You never da-da. I might even get more deep to make it more painful. So you never. And now it would be tailored to her specifically. So that's how you gotta. But but as I said, I don't, at any moment I could jump into that mindset. Yeah. Like it's pointless. As I said, my aim is not to argue with people for argument's sake. My aim is just to be me, and my aim is to let people be them. And my hope is that us being what we are doesn't so much impact other people. Like my next door neighbors, they play the loudest music. It's all bass, and they be like playing Cardi B, and they'd be like, and it'd be like guys like, and the bass like boom, boom. I feel bad because that was my mom's room. So I imagine she had to hear that every day. I just be in there sometimes just sitting on my mom's bed and just sitting in there. And there's that loud ass noise. Annoying. But at least it's on that edge of the room, so I don't hear it in my room, and my dad hasn't said much about it. But yeah, as much as possible, if we can live together. That's why when people be writing comments on my videos, and they be like, and they'll be upset about something I say or do or did, like on my music channel. Now, it's a good thing because it means my video's getting up there. So people who don't really know me are popping in there. But it's like, shit, man, it's free. Like if this was a paid service, like when I pay money to go to a movie and the shit is whack, I have the right to complain about it. It's my money. If I bootleg a movie, which my therapist, that's not legal. Shut up. You ain't act like you ain't, well, maybe you never had, because you from a different time, era, whatever. Where I come from, we were Napster kids, man. Napster kids. We got it where we got it. But it's a free platform, and it's not like I'm putting money into ads or it's just like banging you in the head and it's just like and you just like watching it. But so it's annoying to me because I can't understand when people get upset about things where they could just like, for me, family, friends, in my little circle, that bothers me. People on the other side, like if I saw somebody running down this trail and they're punching themselves in the head. Weird, yeah, dangerous. They might start punching me. But I wouldn't be like, I think that's a bad example. But the point is, who am I to tell him what he should do? Maybe, I don't know the reason. But I'm not going to go out of my way to like, stop it. That's a bad example. A weird example, because I don't know what I would do. Someone running around punching their heads. It's kind of scary. On some, what's that movie? The movie where people were just jumping off things, and then in the end it turned out to be like the trees. So, all right, so we at the end of this, so we're gonna end it, and we have 44 minutes, so we at the deadline. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and be safe, be dehydrated, stay dehydrated, and yeah, peace.